Hello and welcome to the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate. Jim Riley here with Rod Kuntz. Rod, what's happening?
Morning, Jim. It's a good day.
Great day. Man, I was coming down the highway yesterday looking east. The snowy mountains with the blue skies above it with all the clouds around. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we have inversions here. And one of the cool things about inversions is they offer you spectacular views when the sun does break through like that. So yeah, it was unearthly, really a surreal.
Yeah, you texted me and I had just told my wife, look out the window. So
I didn't know if you were home. I said, man, the view from your office must be great. And that was from the roundabout on Highway 2.
Yeah.
Up by your place. So
pretty crazy. So, hey, we had a good call this week, the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate. And if you're interested in learning more about that, hop on the website, youngentrepreneurs.com. Talks all about our community and what we're doing. It's a coaching group. We meet every Monday night, 6 p.m. Montana time. We have a lesson, and then we have 30 minutes of Q&A. And it's funny because people are pretty quiet. And then all of a sudden, somebody asks a question, then another, then another, then another. All of a sudden, you got a great conversation going on, people learning from one another and the answers that come about. And, oftentimes some of our own members solve the problems for other people, which I love.
Absolutely.
So today I want to just kind of continue that conversation from Monday night, just so everybody gets it. And the topic was doing things right, basically the first time, right? Building your business, starting with a business plan and forecasts and budgets and all those things. And it goes way beyond just that. I think we ended that conversation with, or my final point of the discussion was, what is the customer experience? If you've done it all right and you've mapped it all out in the beginning, and I think it's especially important when you're mapping it out in the beginning, what does the customer experience when they walk away or when they use your product or whatever that last line of defense is with the customer? And the reason why I wanted to continue it on, Rod, you're familiar with Grant Cardone. We've talked about him before. I think you've been to his classes before.
Yeah. Hundreds of hours of Cardone training, actually.
So I invested in one of his real estate projects, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. Wasn't a lot of money. Okay. It wasn't. It's four-figured and it's not, nothing major. But since then, they do a monthly Zoom call with Grant. And literally you can hop on, you can talk to Grant, you can ask about the investment, the whole bit. He's got his experts on there, which is pretty cool. After I invested, they'd sent me like a t-shirt and a hat and a welcome letter. They sent me a Christmas card last year, like this ongoing communication via text or email. And it's not salesy. It's more like, hey, welcome to the family type stuff. And so I got this Christmas card from him and it was in a box, and inside the box was a Cardone hat, nice hat, probably a $30, $35 flex fit, beautifully embroidered hat. And inside the hat was a $200 gift card, as well as a letter, a Christmas letter, thank you being a part of the family, hope you have a Merry Christmas type stuff. I thought, like $200 gift card, which is probably going to cost me $50 in shipping for whatever I pick out with the $200, right? So I go online for the heck of it, and I start plugging in the items that I thought, I'm going to get these things, right? So I got the Closer's Survival Guide. Okay. I got Sell or Be Sold. Now, these are hard copy books. These aren't just little pamphlets. I got Real Estate, how to create wealth investing in real estate. I got 10X Quotes. I got 10X Entrepreneur, and I've got 5 of these planners that were all, I think they were $20 each. And I got another book downstairs that I started reading. I plugged all this stuff into the shopping cart, and I think I had like $5 left or something like that. And zero shipping, zero handling, no added charge, just all fell under that gift card. And, I'm looking at all this stuff like, this guy does this right. I mean, everything he does from top to bottom, I don't care how you feel about him. Some people might feel differently. I know you've been to his classes. Obviously, you like him. But this is top to bottom done right. Now, these materials, granted, they're all his, but there's valuable information in here that I can take this information and create something with. I mean, talk about 10x, right? That $200 he sent me is probably worth $2,000 worth of information, which could probably 10x, that make a couple $1 million based on the insights I learned from these things. So I'm so impressed with people that do it right. And by the way, his box, it's branded 10x on the outside, black and red. It's got a quote on here. Even the tape, the packaging tape, says 10x on it. And when you look at this as an example of I don't even want to say the extreme, but how far you can take doing something right, the branding, the articulation of the messaging, the importance of the gift and the additional gift, and the value behind all that, all for somebody which is probably one of his minor investors. Do I want to invest more? Maybe. He certainly does things right. So the point of saying all this and sharing what I got for Christmas from Cardone is when you do things right, you create an experience for somebody and it's a lasting impression, long-term customer. I'll never say anything bad about Grant if this continues. I mean, this is all I know about him. Does a great job. So what are your thoughts on that, Rod?
Well, number one, I am a Grant Cardone fan because he really changes the paradigm when it comes to sales. And he's on the cutting edge of that. I've taken lots of professional sales classes before, and Grant was the only one who went outside of, this is how everyone's teaching and don't do that. Yeah. Right. And it resonated with my spirit because I already did it my own way. I did it differently and I did it more like Grant. Now, granted, not on the scale Grant did. Grant's obviously he's a billionaire now. I was taking classes when he was a millionaire, right? Yeah. But so I'd like to take this to the, that's the macro level. Grant Cardone is delivering at the macro level. This is huge, right? Yep. He's giving you the $1 billion glimpse of what you can do. But we can all take that to the micro level, to our own business. You may not have the funds to have all that branded stuff and basically give it away and give the shipping away and all that stuff, but you might be able to afford to have something else that you buy and that's at a lower cost and still offer free shipping. You can do what you can do. Sure. So at the micro level, let's take it, even if you don't have the funds because you're just a fresh startup, what can you do? Man, you can tell people you appreciate them. You can do the little things that cost you nothing, right? You can give extra value service. You can ask if they need help. Yeah, I saw one of our local realtors the other day did a post, and he was showing that, this is something you don't get from the money lenders. You don't get from the bankers. They're not going to help you move. And here's a guy who has his own truck and trailer, and you buy a house from him. If you need help moving, he'll show up with his truck and trailer and help you move.
Yeah, I saw that.
You don't have to be a billionaire. Yeah, and I know Mark. He's a great guy. I worked with Mark for a while, and he's a great guy. But that's the value you can do. It's what you have to offer, and that's service to others, right? And I hate to just say service because service is so cliche. Let's really talk service. Let's always add the words to others, service to others, or serve others, and get outside of ourselves. I've been on this kick for the last little while on my Instagram account. It's really been on my heart. We need to press in and give of ourselves and give it freely and willingly and gladly. And boy, let me tell you, you want a 10x your ability to reach out and help people. It'll come back to you tenfold. So that it's a great message even for this time of year, but this is a message that resonates every single day of the year.
Well, and I think that when you look at your businesses, and it's never too late to start new practices of doing things right. But when you write that business plan, write in there what the customer experience, let's just say you open up a retail store, right? That's what your plan is. Well, you should have in your business plan, when a customer buys a t-shirt, that t-shirt will be wrapped in tissue paper with a little, branded sticker to fold it over, put it in a branded bag, with a genuine thank you from the person at the register, or whatever that looks like. Think the process all the way through. Maybe there's an opportunity for that customer to sign up for a newsletter or put their email to enter into a contest, and then you send out things, to that email, or maybe it's a 10% discount, whatever it looks like that continues that on. Don't forget to map out these things up front. Like we said, doing it right the first time, you'll see the value and the benefits of that. And if you don't do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to chase your tail later on, which, by the way, this has happened to me dozens of times. You start chasing your tail like, oh, I should have did a better job with my customer experience. I should have offered this. I should have sent them this. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm going to start doing that now, right? You can always start in the beginning or whenever you acknowledge that you're missing something.
Absolutely. And one of the other things we talked about on our call was after actions reports. You just brought it up. When you look back and say, how could have I done that better? And we may have done a fine job. We might have done a fair job, or we may have done a poor job, and no matter what that job is. So it's imperative that we spend a little extra time thinking about what we did and the steps that led us to that action, and see if we can. Sometimes it's just those little steps, a little change, a little tweak, one little thing here, one little thing there, and then asking other people for their opinion, because everyone sees it through their own eyes, right? It's like, how many times with editing, for example, when you write a book and you sit there and you read something and you're a good speller, a good proofreader, whatever, and you could read the same paragraph 15 times and not catch the typo. That one extra pair of eyes looks at it and says, oh, you've got two words that are stuck together. You need a space between those. Just little things like that. And how often we go through life with those blinders on, where we already know it's imprinted in our brain of what we perceive to be right, and we might be missing it. So get some other eyes on it, ask for that feedback, and find a safe place to ask for that feedback as well, and then be able to take the criticism.
Sure. So what I want to encourage everybody to do right now, it's December, is take a look at your business, your organization, maybe where you work if you're an entrepreneur and you want to step up your game there, but look at ways that you can do it right, do it better, give more, all these opportunities, and start putting those practices in play. If you're one of those people that you need to wait till January 1st and say in the new year, that's fine. But start the homework now. So when you hit January 1st, you hit the ground running and you're ready for it and you have a plan. Get yourself one of these Cardone 10X daily planners and map out what January looks like and build good habits of doing it right. I guarantee you will be happier, more successful. You'll see results. You'll see customer satisfaction. You'll see return customers, and your business will just grow because of it. So again, I want to encourage you now this month to do that work and get ready for it.
Absolutely. And I'll use this as a little plug too. You talk in your book, Jim, The Answer is Yes, about the holiday advantage and doing the extra work when everyone else is relaxing, resting, because why? They deserve it. They've worked hard all year. I want a break. Well, it's the people who know that they need a break and they've earned and deserve a break, but they work through it anyway. They can still spend a quality time with friends and family and the holiday parties and all that, but you can still do extra when other people are doing less. Yeah. And that gives you that advantage. And this is a soft skill. And that's what I love about what we do. And most of what we teach is the soft skills. And I've been doing some research for another project we're working on. And I went to AI. Now, no, regardless of how you feel about AI, it's just information. It's what people put into it. And there's a lot of information put in. So I literally typed in the question, what are the essential soft skills that aren't explicitly taught in colleges or universities, despite their immense importance in professional and personal life?
Jeez.
AI came up with a list.
Really?
Yeah. And guess what? I'm going through this and I'm looking back. Literally, I have in my hand next year's topics that we're teaching on Y.E.S. Not to mention last year's topics. Every week we bring a topic and they deal with all these things. So listen to this top list. Emotional intelligence. And what that is understanding and managing emotions, empathy, interpersonal relationships. Communication skills. Adaptability and resilience, including failure. critical thinking and problem solving, networking and relationship building, time management and prioritization, creativity and innovation, leadership and teamwork. Not taught in colleges or universities. And these are the most, we talked about this last week on the podcast, when you talked about a kid who came in with 2 MBAs and he wanted an entry-level job at In-N-Out Burger, and he didn't qualify.
Yeah.
2 MBAs, and he's unqualified because he missed these skills.
Crazy.
And so if you just need a holiday advantage, what can you do to work on any of those skills? Grab a book. If that's the only thing you do this holiday season to give yourself the holiday edge, is if you're not a reader, to read or listen to a podcast or, listen to an audiobook that will give you one extra step. Now's the time to do it. And don't wait for the first of the year to get committed to that new habit. Have it indoctrinated in the next 3 weeks before the new year hits.
Yeah. Hit the ground running. Well, and whatever you do to improve your skill, put it into action. Don't just listen to the podcast or read the book and not do something with that information. That's where a lot of the times the ball gets dropped, is that people don't, put that into play. And, we talk about the holidays and the holiday advantage. What does that look like? I'll give you an example for me, right? I want to be present for my kids, and we have some routines. Let's just say they want to watch Home Alone tonight. Okay. I've seen the movie like 40 times. Okay. We can all sit on the bed. We can put on the TV. The kids will be all in. I can still sit there and enjoy watching it with them, but I can also take some notes on a notepad as to how I'm going to, put something into action, so I'm not missing out on the family time, but yet I'm utilizing my knowledge of the movie, to maybe get a little bit further ahead. It's just doing things with intent,
right.
And maybe that's not the best example for some people, but, there's a lot of ways where you can find those moments that are typically wasted doing other things. Hell, the easy one is just put your phone down and stop scrolling Instagram. Take that Instagram time and just start building your business up.
Absolutely. And, even Home Alone, that's a good example, Jim, because look at how creative. What's that little boy's name? I should remember. We all know the main character in the movie.
Yeah.
So look at how creative he is. Look at how he thinks outside the box. Look at how resourceful he is. And he just uses what's at his disposal. It's so fun to look at that and think, wow, that's pretty creative. And granted, it's Hollywood writers. Okay. Hollywood writers wrote the movie. They wrote the script. They wrote all that stuff in there, but it still gets the point across that we can utilize what we have in front of us and make the most of it. There's the lesson in that movie. It's not just entertainment. The lesson in that movie is just that. Utilize what's in front of you. My old thing, you heard me say it a million times, maximum utilization of available resources. In the military, that's your job. That's that art of war stuff.
Hey, speaking of using that movie, I saw a meme the other day. I thought it was pretty clever. Said, it's Kevin is his name.
Kevin, thank you, yes.
Kevin was left at home for 3 days, by himself, had a grocery shop, do the wash, laundry, all that stuff, fight off some bad guys, but he still found time to go to church.
Yes, he did.
Don't give us an excuse you don't have time to go to church. This kid figured it out. So it was just funny. I laughed at that one.
Well, talk about a timely meme. On that same line, I saw they counted up the total for his grocery bill when he went out shopping. And then they shopped it 10 years ago. Yeah. And it went from $20 to like $70. And today it's like $160 or something for the same shopping trip.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Yeah, there's all kinds of lessons in that movie. Good job, Kevin.
Well, let's wrap it up. This is your opportunity. When you're done listening to this show, why don't you figure out how you're going to do things right and then take some action around that. And there's lots of resources there. If you're not sure what books to go read, hop on our Young Entrepreneurs website. There is a book library that Rod and myself and Rachel have put together, things that we've read that we found value in. Start there. You can start with Rod's book, Warpath Alliance, or mine, Freedom to Say Yes, or Rachel's. There's a whole list of stuff. So anyways, no excuses. Rod, thanks again for your input and a great show.
Always a pleasure, Jim. Thanks.
Right on. All right. If you like the show, share it. Thank you.